The 2026 Tour de France saw a massive shift in power on Stage 3. Tadej Pogačar didn't just win the stage. He personally hunted down the breakaway and dismantled Jonas Vingegaard in a sprint finish that left the entire peloton stunned. This was a clinical display of strength, but it sparked a major debate. Did UAE Team Emirates show their cards too early? Chasing down that move required a massive effort from the squad.
Things off here. I think we both thought this would be a breakaway day. It was not. UAE controlled the day. We had a little crash early, very hard start, took 70K for the breakaway to get away. The poor break, though, they worked real hard to get away.
While some call it a masterclass, others worry that this relentless aggression in the first week could leave Pogačar vulnerable once the race hits the high Alps. Is the yellow jersey becoming a tactical burden for UAE? Looking at the comments, one fan perfectly captured the tension, saying, UAE is playing checkers while everyone else is still learning how to move their pieces. It's clear the tactical battle has only just begun. The pressure is clearly on Visma Lisa bike now. Jonas Vingegaard has never lost the yellow jersey in this fashion before, and for the first time in years, the tactical momentum seems to have shifted firmly into Pogačar's camp. The 2026 Tour de France saw a massive shift in power on Stage 3, with Tadej Pogačar proving that even in the high mountains, his dominance is absolute. But the tech choices in the peloton are sparking a massive debate among gearheads. Why are we seeing riders reach for aero bikes when there are nearly 4,000 meters of climbing on the menu?
And here it is, Room 101, or number 101, for the Tour de France this year. And Canyon are claiming that this is the fastest road bike in the Tour de France this year. And in terms of the differences, the main thing really, and what they think is the reason why it's so fun.
It used to be simple. Light bikes for the mountains, aero bikes for the flats. But manufacturers have pushed carbon layup and tube profiles to a point where the weight penalty for an aero frame is now almost negligible. When you're saving watts against the wind on every descent and flat section, those gains often outweigh the extra few grams on the climb. For the amateur rider at home, this is a game changer. If you're looking at your next bike purchase, don't feel pressured to buy a dedicated, climbing bike unless you live exclusively on steep gradients. Modern aero bikes have become so versatile that they are effectively all-road machines that can handle a century ride or a local hill climb with ease. Of course, the pros are chasing marginal gains that we might not even feel on our Sunday group rides, but the trend is clear. Aerodynamics is king. If the bike looks fast, it probably is, regardless of the elevation profile. It's an exciting time for tech as we move away from specialized bikes toward true multi-terrain performance. Moving on to the paddock drama, the UCI jury has been working overtime this week, and the penalty list is starting to look more like a corporate tax bill than a cycling report. It seems everyone is getting slapped with fines for those sticky bottles. Riders like Don Houle and Clement Brazzafone were each docked 700 Swiss francs after being caught getting a little extra help from the team cars on the climbs. But it's not just the riders. The team directors are driving like they're in a rally race. Tadej Pogačar's own DS, Andrej Hopman, was slapped with a 500 franc fine and a yellow card for dangerous driving. Honestly, with the amount of money flying around in these fines, the UCI might be funding the rest of the race just on team misconduct alone. We've seen team mechanics getting into the mix too, with UAE receiving fines for unauthorized assistance as early as Stage 2. It's a messy environment out there, and the jury is clearly trying to keep a lid on the chaotic convoy behavior. Some of the fans online are having a field day with this. One top comment on the race thread joked, "At this rate, the team cars will have to start their own GC classification based on who can rack up the most fines before Paris." Moving from the intense tactical battles to the physical toll of this year's race, the heat has become a silent protagonist. Temperatures hitting 39 degrees Celsius aren't just uncomfortable. They are rewriting the rules of recovery and logistics for every team in the peloton.
I didn't have anything in the final. I was the big cook. So, yeah, that was Sunday.
I think many of us watching and following the race were a bit surprised that UAE wanted to take control, go for the stage, and now in yet
Tom Pidcock's comment about burning through 10,000 bidons might be a slight exaggeration, but it highlights the sheer volume of logistics required just to keep these riders upright in the heat. It's an absolute hydration war out there, and teams are essentially running mobile water processing plants just to survive the transition stages. And speaking of the peloton, looking at the comments on the stage coverage, fans are having a field day with the absurdity of it all. One user pointed out that at this rate, the support cars are basically turning into rolling water tankers, and frankly, they aren't wrong. It's a logistical nightmare that rarely gets the credit it deserves. Stage 4 marks our first full day of racing on French soil, but don't let the scenery fool you. This isn't a transition stage for the sprinters, it's a tactical trap. The profile is lumpy, featuring 4 categorized climbs. The Col de Montségur is the real teeth of this stage. It's hard enough to shell the pure sprinters like Merlier and Philipsen, but it leaves the door wide open for a strong breakaway to stick to the finish in Foix. So who do we watch? Quinn Simmons and Mads Pedersen are prime candidates from Little Trek. Pedersen can handle these climbs and still pack a punch at the line, while Romain Grégoire is hungry to take a stage win on home turf. The million-dollar question is whether the GC favorites will let them go. UAE Team Emirates burned a lot of matches chasing for Pogačar on stage 3, so logic suggests they might give the yellow jersey a rest today.
Welcome back to Tour de France Beyond the Podium. As we get ahead into tomorrow's stage, the first full stage in France. Before we get into that stage though, TJ, we gotta give some respect to the race organizers for this nicely designed route. I think this is a dream.
But keep an eye on the bonus seconds. If Pogačar smells blood or wants to stretch that gap over Vingegaard, he might force another high-intensity chase, turning a rest day into another brutal war of attrition. The 2026 Tour de France saw a massive shift in power on stage 3, and the questions are mounting. Did UAE Team Emirates show their cards too early? Tadej Pogačar didn't just win. He hunted down the breakaway and dismantled Jonas Vingegaard in a sprint finish. By chasing down that break, UAE burnt massive amounts of energy. Was it a tactical masterstroke to take the yellow jersey, or a blunder that leaves them exposed in the high mountains? The peloton is buzzing, and fans in the comments are split. Some say he's untouchable, others are worried he's racing like he's at a local kermesse rather than the Tour. Speaking of power, let's talk tech. We're seeing pros opting for aero bikes on stages with over 3,800 meters of climbing. It's a complete shift in the gear wars. Aerodynamics are now king, even when the road points toward the clouds. If you're looking at buying a new bike, this is the takeaway. Stiffness and weight are taking a backseat to wind-cheating shapes. The days of dedicated climbing bikes are effectively over in the World Tour. Away from the bikes, the UCI jury has been busy. From sticky bottles to team directors driving like they're in a rally championship, the fines are stacking up. It's becoming a bit of a soap opera in the team cars. And let's not forget the riders' struggle with the heat. Tom Pidcock's comment about the peloton guzzling 10,000 bidons isn't just hyperbole. It captures the reality of racing in 39-degree heat. The hydration logistics alone are becoming a full-time sport.
I didn't have anything in the final. I was a bit cooked. So, yeah, that was Sunday.
I think many of us watching and following the race were a bit surprised that UAE wanted to take control.
Now, looking ahead to stage 4. We're moving from the Pyrenees into the first fully French day, and it's a total trap. 4 categorized climbs and a finish in Foix that doesn't favor the pure sprinters. The Col de Montségur is going to shred the bunch. We expect a massive breakaway to form, as GC teams might want a day to recover. If Pogačar is smart, he'll let a non-threat ride away with the stage win to hand over the responsibility of defending the jersey. Finally, the strategy table. Can Visma lease a bike break the UAE chokehold? Jonas Vingegaard is a calculated racer, but Pogačar is forcing his hand. Does Visma need to start taking massive risks now, or stay patient for the Alps? Experts are suggesting that Vingegaard cannot wait until the final week. If he doesn't isolate Pogačar soon, UAE's depth, especially with riders like Adam Yates and Del Toro, will simply suffocate every move he makes.
Really thought this was a perfect breakaway day. Called it yesterday, said no. And you saw the team. UAE just, I was like, why are they riding? So rather, well, they want to win the stage, and that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
But
The 2026 Tour de France saw a massive shift in power on stage 3, as Tadej Pogačar didn't just win. He hunted down the break and dismantled Jonas Vingegaard in a sprint. The big question now is, did UAE push too hard too early?
They just make a stage like that look easy, and here we are at the Tour de France.
Yeah, they make it look very...
It is exactly that sentiment from the peloton that has fans divided. Some call the dominance predictable and boring, while others, like user at Davkitgen on YouTube, argue it's a heck of a lot better than watching an NBA game, because it's not just about final-minute fouls. Pogačar's tactical decision to chase down the breakaway wasn't just for the stage win. It was a clear attempt to defrock Vingegaard of the yellow jersey. Is it a masterstroke or a tactical overreach? By burning through his teammates to control the race, UAE may have left themselves exposed for the high Alps later this month. Let's talk tech. Despite 3,850 meters of climbing, we are seeing the peloton stick to aero bikes. It's the new reality. Modern aero frames have become so light that the climbing bike is essentially extinct in the professional peloton. If you're looking at your next bike, that's the trend to watch. The UCI officials are busy. It's a fine mess in the paddock, with teams being slapped with heavy penalties for sticky bottles and reckless driving from team directors. It seems everyone is trying to gain every inch, even if it costs them thousands in Swiss francs. The heat is the unsung villain of this tour. Tom Pidcock joked about the peloton downing 10,000 bidons. At 39 degrees, survival is the name of the game. It's not just about cycling, it's about cooling protocols and ice management, as these riders struggle to keep their core temps in check.
Yeah, for me, it's never been my strength, of course, the heat. So I've always struggled a bit with it, and of course, with the heat training and the cooling protocol we have, it's already a bit better. But I will never do my best performances in.
Stage 4 is our first fully French day, but don't let the aesthetic fool you. This is a trap stage. Carcassonne to Foix is lumpy, bouncy, and features 4 categorized climbs. It's a perfect playground for a breakaway to stick if the big GC teams take a breather. The final climb, the Col de Montségur, is where the move will likely be made. With a flat 35 km run to the finish, a lone attacker or a small group could easily hold off a disorganized peloton. Watch for aggressive riding from teams like Little Trek and Groupama FDJ. So, how can Visma break the UAE chokehold? The consensus is they need to play the long game. As one commenter noted, it is still very possible for Vingegaard to gain time in the high mountains or on the TT. UAE is strong, but they aren't invincible. Visma lease a bike needs to force UAE to defend, which they've clearly shown they are willing to do, sometimes against their own better judgment. Whether that strategy pays off for them remains to be seen.